not mistaken, it does constantly get banned out by their opponents.
So the Guinevere gets banned out again. Na'Vi wouldn't be too surprised if they even ban out the Beleric together with the Guinevere, but I think at this point it's okay.
Yeah,
right?
you can let one through. You've already banned one of the other main components.
The Harith gets banned out, and honestly, this might be a GXP first pick Claude, knowing that usually when they do this, they need the Claude to be picked up. If they don't go for the Claude, I think Na'Vi are going to be very happy taking that away from Winnie, who's only played Claude and Harith. The Beleric still gets banned out by Na'Vi. They just don't like Lemma on these kind of roams.
It's a great playstyle for GXP as a whole once they get that Beleric. They're a little bit braver knowing that the fighting them gives them more damage. Sora Rush right away. This is a bit of a throwback and a little too far back.
Yeah. The Sora first pick. It's been good so far in this tournament.
Yes, it has been. And at one point, it had a 100% win rate yesterday until Vitality shut that down. But Ling on Sora could be pretty deadly.
Could be, but I think Na'Vi, they can have, I mean, plenty of answers to the Sora, right? They can go for the CC and the XP that wins down in lane against the Sora. They could go for the Arlet that does well against the Sora, the Paquito as well. But first things first, you take away the Claude from Winnie's hands and you ask the question to GXP, what does your gold lane play aside from the Claude and the Harith that you banned yourself?
Oh, we're going to be seeing something really different here from GXP unless they're thinking of going double fighter sides.
And again for Na'Vi, it's back to the same, Renmar. It's all about picking these gold laners, picking these damage dealers that are safe to the assassins that they're expecting from GXP. Go ahead, pick up a Ling. Go ahead, pick up a Haya, a Hirara even. Claude, Lilia, we've got survivability for days, and it almost just seems like Na'Vi are saying, you pick that up, we're going to go for the Atakai. We're going to go for these big stoppers.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get an entire series where Rian's just, excuse me, not Rian, but Rain, very similar names, are going to be, she's going to be playing the Lilia all throughout. It's just a perfect stopper for what GXP wants to do. Are they going to go double fighters and then just go for something like a YSS? Or nope, they're going to get that Ling, and they will get the Hilda, Dangerous Grass after all. And this is going to have a really good look for the early to mid, honestly. When you have a Sora the XP and then a Hilda in a roam, there's a good chance you'll be able to help your Ling farm comfortably. It's just that how will it look like once it gets to the fights? GXP, they can get the farm, but if the Ling is uncomfortable during the team fights, okay, it's not just going to be uncomfortable in team fights, it could be also uncomfortable just trying to roam around the map with the chip, which Na'Vi finally got to make work yesterday.
Oh god, so they take the Claude and the Lilia, they want to have these vulnerable backliners, the vulnerable backliners that can actually escape. But then you add a chip into it, so you already deal with the kill threat. Now you deal with that macro control that you have with the Ling, with the chip. There's no way for Fa to just rotate around and get those leads the way she's able to all this time in MWI. She has to play it safe, and more importantly, she has to snowball from the get-go.
Yeah, directly and indirectly answering the Ling, whether it's through the individual 1v1s if you look at the hero pieces or the overall composition as a whole. Now with that safe, this gives a lot of room for flexibility for Na'Vi in terms of what kind of heroes they want in the EXP and jungle, depending on what you see for the last two picks. I think for Na'Vi, they'd want to maybe consider picking up their EXP first and then just adjust your jungle pick for last so you get the best one possible.
And I'm thinking of those picks in the jungle. What's still up for Na'Vi? I mean, there's plenty up. I'm thinking of the Akai instantly. That's why I thought the Akai would be red 3. Flex it, roam jungle. The chip hasn't really seen too much screen time here at MWI, but they certainly have a plan. Usually when you go for this kind of composition, it's like a Masha in XP. With a Fredrin in jungle. Now the Fredrin has lost a lot of prio after the nerfs onto him, but I wouldn't actually count it out just yet.
Yeah, but I think the clear sign is there. If they ban out the carry, then they're most likely setting up for the Fredrin and the potential Masha pick, which Ayanami has already shown. So that route is open. Let's see if Galaxy Phoenix senses it and take out the Fredrin, meaning that the pool gets even smaller here for Na'Vi in the jungle.
It could also be Barats.
Oh, right. Yeah, Barats is still here. Yeah. There's no more option of you potentially going up against something like an X-Borg jungle. You already see the Ling. Yeah, I think Barats would be perfect here, honestly, for Na'Vi. And with Galaxy Phoenix already showing their cards at the jungle, then there's not going to be a lot of counters left for it unless you pick up like what, a Lunox in the mid, but then you're up against a Lilia.
That's why it really just seems like Na'Vi have it all covered. The Fredrin gets banned out again. I think Na'Vi shouldn't be in any rush to pick up the Barats, but they shouldn't be in any rush to pick up a crazy pick for not Ayanami and XP as well. So just comes down to what they want to reveal first. Do they want to reveal the Barats or the Masha first?
Yeah, it's preference at this point. Because of the wide pool of not Ayanami, they have so much options to go for. And I think that's the main discussion right now.
I forgot.
Yeah, Freya is still open. That's why we thought earlier Freya would be picked up in the very first pick for Galaxy Phoenix.
Well, okay then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be too surprised if they just go and pull a crazy Leomord Freya. It's been a while since we've seen Leomord, but you know, those nerfs has hit him. But with this kind of composition, it fits.
Yeah.
Just go all in.
Leo Freya, then you add the chip there. I think if you want macro, would I be too mad at the low Yi pick right now for GXP? Team fighting wise could make it difficult once they get out of the chip portal. Plus the Freya is there for the constant pulls. Oh, they go for Sophia on the Selena. They ran for comfort instead. It is very mechanically demanding to make this work, but it's one of those things where if the arrows hit, it's great. If the arrows don't, kind of GG.
I wouldn't even be too mad if they just run it back on the Alice jungle again.
Yeah, that could work out too because of the very close to mid-range nature of the composition of Galaxy Phoenix for team fighting. Alice, the Throne of Ruin, is going to stop the tempo of the team fights. That could give a little bit more space for their Claude and their Lilia.
Yeah, just lock them down for the AoE damage to come through. And it's the Bauman. Oh, physical defense shred with a Freya and a Claude.
Ouch. This lineup just screams like it hurts. They have a good amount of crowd control. Not direct crowd control, but this is very damage focused. We know Galaxy Phoenix, very mechanically focused.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Mechanically focused, the underdogs must once again fight back to protect their tournament life. They've still got a bit more leeway since it's a best of 5, but not much if Na'Vi can take this next map and lead 2-0. After all, they're already up 1-0. Again, I raised a question. Who's ready to rise above? Let's find out at map number 2 between Galaxy Phoenix versus Na'Vi. Brigitte, Gideon, take it away.
As we head on into the Land of Dawn, the first statement has been set. Na'Vi take the first match here as we look towards GXP's response to that. How do they turn things around? How are they going to adapt in this upcoming game? Because right now, the draft doesn't seem to be in their favor. And here at level 1, Rain and Mirai are already telling Lima that first blood is already in our pockets.
Oh, this Lilia on Na'Vi has been doing so much. Ever since game number 1, another stunted potential kill if only Sophia gets to walk out, but no! It's an early 2-0 for Rain on this Lilia.
Too early, and honestly, the fact that they've already gotten everything that they need, it's starting to snowball already. And I was expecting GXP to be that guy, to be that woman who takes them all out. Even Mirai, confident, doesn't even have to flicker, recognizes that, Lima, you don't have the base damage. I'm a full level ahead of you.
And how does that change the conditions for GXP? Because you're no longer on equal footing, you no longer have to anticipate whether or not the early comes out from these arrows or not, because they're already at an advantage. Mirai will get out of this. Still some glooms left. It's tough for the mid duo of GXP.
It already feels like Rain is asking the rest of her teammates, just hold my earrings. I'll do the rest. Don't worry, Mirai. Just open up that map and I'm going to hurt them big time. And with that passive, heals right back up to full. So great control as they freeze that mid lane. They're starting to lean out of it as they want to attack the top side.
Okay, not Ayanami, just going in for the dives, even under the turrets. But Mirai will be the one to finish the job. That's Fa they actually find.
I think this game is starting to look pretty doomed. Pretty doomed very early on, because this has to be by far one of the most heretical starts. Like, this is blasphemous to people in Mobile Legends. The first 2 minutes, we're already having 3 kills on the side of Na'Vi, all centralized towards the most important roles in Ling and Fa.
Okay, fortunately, an Abyssal Arrow does land over there. Sophia trying to dive, but it's an outplay! Everything has just not been going their way, every single attempt. And now Na'Vi might just take away this purple buff even from Fa. who's not even level 4 yet.
I'm getting the vibes back. This is why everybody was so excited for Assassin. Oh! And Ling able to find the solo kill despite everything that has happened already. The extra assist from Ayanami just wasn't enough.
Okay, that's a bit of a glimpse of hope for GXP right there. At least they get some trades one way or another through the EXP lane, but how else? Because even here in this jungle camp, you just could not farm as peacefully. Fa could barely get the EXP that's necessary. It's a 2-level gap.
This is so dirty. This is particularly dirty. KG knows how to play this Balmond, or has at least gotten all the tips and tricks. You're using a lethal counter. You're also trying to contest with Retribution. It's just an easy way to steal camps at a high rate against your opponent, and just ever telling them, yo, fear this. Shortcut connects.
Oh. How could they do this? They're just everywhere. Mirai, fortunately for GXP, they don't actually lose Winnie out there, but does it actually become an opening? Now they get to find a kill. Fa finds Mirai. Tempest of Blades already committed, but they don't want to fight this. They don't want to fight around a spinning Balmond.
No, they don't have the items. They don't have the damage. Rain, does he cancel it? No, they're just going to set up this dive.
Oh, it's Sophia left all alone, trying to escape. Abyssal Arrow does land, but he's just gonna buy some time.
Yeah, just again, really, really elusive here. Unless Rain or Keishi can actually apply some kind of movement speed slow, it's just going to be an ever taxed jungle. It's just Navi's walking in and they're like, hey, you owe me money. Interest, pay up, pay up.
This is so tough. It's always Mirai plus another one. Oh, but a second solo kill from Link towards not Ayanami. Navi fail, or they actually do take... No, they don't. They don't take away the purple buff for the second time, and at least for Fa, they're slowly able to keep up bit by bit.
Yeah, but it just means that Retribution is going to be down. Not like Balmond really cares whether Ling has Retribution or not, but generally speaking, this has been a pretty tough game. I'm looking towards Ling's side of the map. How can they get Ling involved? Because unluckily, the turtle is spawning down on the bottom side. They're forced to get Ling back in, and not Ayanami. No flicker. Has already gotten solo kill twice. Wants to shove that top side, and Na'Vi understand this. Let's slow it down.
Okay.
Wait for the shortcut.
Understandably so. You see Ling here, but Mirai has an idea as well.
Oh.
I thought that was gonna land too. Mirai didn't necessarily try to catch it, but they lose out big on energy shields up top. GXP are the ones actually leashing this turtle towards their side, and without not Ayanami, they probably would have very little ways to contest. A setup once again from Ling to get him with the Tempest of Blades, but the response, the teleportation's coming in from Mirai. Do they want to fight this? Rain does show up. Rian goes in with the blazing to it, landing it on 3, forcing out the flicker from Winnie, and actually finding one. Lemma goes down, but Sophia escapes.
Oh, wait, hold on. Ling might be in some trouble, and now they can set up for a potential dive. Sophia's nearby and will peel, but Ling can only do so much. How many seconds until the ult comes back up?
They really want this turret. Not Ayanami still going for it. 1v2! Both had to flicker out.
God bless. God bless. Flicker saves lives, people. Flicker saves lives. These flickers happen essential for their escapes. 5 to 6, however, structural damage has already been applied. Na'Vi making sure that the bottom side has been cut. Now they're going to send Rian towards the top side to break that other tier 1. But I would have imagined at some point Na'Vi might want to start double waving with this Claude.
So far, it's good either way. They're 3-0 on this Claude. The participation has been massive for them every single time we get to see a team fight. But someone who hasn't been really participating as much is Keishi. But right now we might actually see that happen as they lay down another portal. Winnie is the target. And it's not looking great.
Yep, it's not safe. The river is not a safe space to walk in, and I think definitely GXP need to start opening up this map, or Sophia needs to start... Oh, God.
Oh. You thought you were safe.
I thought you were safe, to be fair.
Yeah, but there was a chip trying to intercept you from behind, and a lethal counter too in your face. There's not much you could expect from a Hilda at this point, no matter how much she tries to open up the map. Na'Vi are just at the most unexpected places possible.
Yeah, I think that GXP, unless they get some clean wombo combos like they did in their previous fight around that second turtle, it's not gonna be easy. Definitely not. Like, Faz is probably gonna get solo killed by Ayanami if he takes some prolonged fight against them. So at this stage, oh, another shortcut.
Winnie again! Winnie's just not having a good time. The first time we see her on a Bruno and she has to go through all of this.
It's just constant pressure. Constant execution. Oh wait, they don't actually take it back. They realize and recognize that the top side is actually where a majority of the resistance is coming from GXP. They should know the purple buff is up, and here they come on the run.
Not Ayanami leading the charge, forcing out the Tempest of Blades. Now they are forced to just get back. There stands the Abyssal Arrow, but that's just about it. Na'Vi are not really gonna stop the pressure from coming.
They're gonna try though. Oh, next on towards the back line. However, Ling unfortunately can't seem to close the distance. Didn't want to commit the flicker as well, but they've got battle spells out of Na'Vi. And honestly, at this stage of the game with a 3.8k lead at 8 minutes, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, at least if you look at it from the perspective of having a Ling on your lineup, you could play around the map a bit more, but just how could you? If Na'Vi keep forcing these kinds of fights and just surprises all over, at least for now, Faz trying to stay composed by doing exactly what we mentioned, but even Keishi's just a bit too quick to expect what's about to happen from GXP.
Yeah, just a little too fast. And now, here we come. Descent of the Valkyries into it. Oh, cloud shift though!
Oh, the cancels. Now it's Rian having to get away from that. Not Ayanami left all alone against 3, and she could not take out at least 1. Rain eventually shows up with a flicker. Winnie too having to dash away, and Mirai! Another intercept! That's the 4th time we see them take down the gold laner.
Again, great target priority here. And no time being wasted by Mirai. It's like, all right, I see my low target. I know exactly what I want to do. And this lead now, as we pull up the item list, we're already seeing fleeting time completed. 9 minutes pretty early on with rapid boots as well. Explains why, not only with the passive, why Mirai's so fast. Okay, Faz okay. Thank goodness. Like, it couldn't get worse from this point onwards. I mean, don't worry. That purple buffer was always Na'Vi's.
It was always Na'Vi's anyway.
Yep.
But I wonder who else is not safe. Winnie yet again.
Oh my god!
She's been holding on that bush for too long. Mirai's been staying in that bush for too long. And even with this 4-man setup coming in from Ling, I don't think they will get the value out of it. They'll just lose out on more and more members. Ling falling down as well. There might be one trade, and that's going to be Rian.
They can't scale at this point. They can't scale. They don't have enough EXP to stay above them. Even Mirai having a full level ahead of Lima. The early game is completely gone, and technically this is where we're expecting Fa to start really picking up the slack for the rest of the team. However, with such a big lack of goal and an interception from Mirai, what are you supposed to do?
She had another ultimate available.
Fleeting time, what can I say? It's a good item, especially when you're this far ahead.
I was just trying to fly over from one wall to another, and all the while that was happening, it was a free objective over to Na'Vi as well. Just look at the goal difference already existing, as at least it's not that far behind. But the gold lane, I think, is where you feel it the most.
Well, I want to say it's not only just the gold lane, but at the same time, I think that the fact that this Chastised Pauldron is already built for Mirai, I think at this point, Chip can get disrespectful, right? I don't think anybody has enough damage to kill him, and even if they do, the Chastised Pauldron passive will just keep him healthy. So at this point, Mirai, look at him. What literally just having a tour.
Yeah. Just doesn't mind those bits of damage you get to receive from Lema as the only person who could possibly walk up and not get bursted down by Na'Vi, not unless they just go full commit. But now they have more and more waves coming in, not Ayanami showing up as well. Lema just trying to scout where they are. They pretty much have information of what to expect, and that's still not enough for them to go and try to engage against Na'Vi, because even in the damage department, would you consider Winnie to even have enough damage already?
Not yet. I mean, not even a Berserker's Fury. That's what we're talking about, right? Literally a Ha's Claw fought. Unfortunately, no purple buff, so he has to sit there and wait for it to come back as Na'Vi take the initiative to start putting more structural damage.
Yep, they're keeping the pressure, and now it's Lema who, for the first time, actually gets bursted down, has to flicker out of that. Worldy already committed as well, but they're just trading space. They want this base turret.
Good.
That's the setup coming in from Ling, but she had to go down alongside with it.
They actually make this an endgame scenario. No, they still are able to kill it off. And luckily on the opposite end, Fa was able to pick up a purple buff for herself. Yeah.
Yay, finally.
it's still a rough game.
It's an exchange of a base turret.
Yeah, it's like, man, not the best in the world, but hey, we take what we can get, and luckily the team, they really need these minions. Like, splitting the gold at this point of time is probably not ideal. Like, Fire understands, you know what, even though I don't have as much gold, it's important that I stay even in EXP against Keishi.
Yep, and these placements, these traps are becoming more and more important. Fortunately for them, they have that tool, but I don't think they've been able to maximize it as well. Ooh, Fa! She tried to take that away, but it was still Keishi who got it.
Yeah, they're still going to be dancing around for a little bit, and I don't know if they've checked. No. Fifth time. They
didn't check, Winnie! Fortunately, had the flicker, and Ling was there too, ready to protect. But that's the thing, they forced out the flicker. We only have about 12 seconds before the next Lord.
I mean, they're conditioning them, right? They're conditioning them every single time, and I think that GXP need to start setting some real protocols here. This has happened way too many times. You cannot expect Winnie to always have her flicker available. And now Na'Vi is in such a powerful position. They're going to have only 2 members actually deal with this Lord while everybody else is on guard duty.
Not Ayanami holding the bottom side. Mirai just standing there. Look at this, look at this. Oh, she has the immortality too. I think Fa will be okay though, yeah.
Especially when you have iframes, you're just so unimportant as a priority target for a chip. I could not figure out a better way of saying that. You just don't want to deal with that, right? You want Winnie, you want people who can get punished by this. Arguably even Lima as well, but that's only if that flicker is down. And knowing that Winnie has been losing her flicker consistently every single minute it comes back on, I think that so far Mirai is ready to start trading. Maybe even not even hiding, just flickering into the middle of them.
And just putting up the portal right then and there, but that forces out the Tempest of Blades from Fa. Won't even be confident enough to deal with the cut as well, but Lima, together with Sophia, are decently dealing a bit of damage already towards Mirai. I think that's a bit of a win.
It is a win, and I don't think Na'Vi is getting as much value as they wanted to, right? They now desync the waves that they were trying to prepare. Mirai finally loses immortality.
Oh, but every single member of Na'Vi just jumps in to make sure that Fa goes down and doesn't get a hold of her purple buff yet again.
The chain CC was a little too good, or maybe the pinch points came up a little too late. Either way, Na'Vi is going to be starting to crash down on every single one of these inhibitors.
Was that a bit too expensive of a kill for GXP, but Na'Vi are not going to risk it just yet. They're not going to try to go for the end, and they will fully respect GXP right under their base, but there is another wave coming in mid. It's going to crash really, really soon, and that's a lot of space created. Ling only finding one, but Rian only has her eyes on the turret and the lethal counter! Finding Ling! It's a shutdown towards Keishi, but will that be enough? A missile arrow landing onto Rian! And that could have been the game-changing play right here for GXP! Tempest of Blades from Fa. Mirai already starting to get really, really low, and another free hit from Winnie! Potentially turning things around! Not Ayanami trying to sustain, but she cannot!
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. As Renmar mentioned, the arrow, it just needs to hit. Once that arrow connects, there's so much more you can do with it. And this time, despite GXP showing just a sliver of hope here, Na'Vi have already taken out 3 of their inhibitor turrets. The macro is going to be a little difficult to play once the next Lord spawns, and Na'Vi, they don't mind it. You got that first shutdown, fine, that's on us. But look at this replay, right? The conceal, Mirai making sure getting pushed out of the way, but this engagement coming in from Ling initially was looking good until they got executed. However, you see the mistake come right about... Oh no! They timed it out before the arrow was about to be thrown, but even so you can tell the frustration on Na'Vi's face.
Yeah, but it was just a pixel away until we weren't able to see it. But you know what happened at that moment. It was an unfortunate sequence for Na'Vi, even as they just tried to really attempt for an end angle. And now let's see how they play around with their positionings once again, because they have been placing these traps around the areas where Mirai is really expected to just show up, even throwing them out just to ensure that they will have enough information. So that's GXP really playing it safe, but is Fa gonna be safe up top? She's having to deal with not Ayanami.
I mean, Fa unfortunately just literally cannot 1v1 this Freya. Not without that Bruno. Not like how we saw it earlier. And worse yet, Na'Vi, this is what we call the chokehold. Like, how do you even win this scenario? No matter what you do, Mirai can catch you with the shortcut, and which they're about to see right now.
Tempest of Blades used right before the portal gets laid down, and Mirai will no longer try to go for the chase. But that was really smart from Na'Vi as well. Okay, wait. Fa, not gonna fight that.
They could still technically chase this for a little bit, but the more attention Fa is able to bring to them, the better.
Okay, that's BMI and Rain alongside Mirai trying to go for Fa. They're not letting him return or her to return to the base. As not Ayanami, Mirai and Keishi too are just dealing with the waves. Fa is down! And the portal gets laid down. Now the rest of the members can catch up and just go for the siege. The Lord is still up. Sophia tried to jump in. It's Mirai who she's actually targeting, but the Blazing do it! And now it's Winnie using the Wind of Nature, but they do not care. They're after the base. Lethal counter, and that's the end.
Oh, tough.